Welcome to clickmyproject.com. Our project title towards efficient authentication scheme with biometric key management in cloud environment. Our project abstract recently security issue are obstructing the development and use of cloud computing services. Authentication plays an important role in the cloud security, and numerous concerns have been raised to prevent an unauthorized access to access the entity's resources, sender and receiver, within the cloud environment. Existing solutions are based on one-time authentication schemes, which a user password is applicable only for one login session. However, none of the proposed schemes are sufficiently secure to prevent of attacks. In addition, these schemes often suffer from sufficient overhead in the key management. For this reason, we propose a robust one-time authentication scheme based on a non-interactive one-time biometric key to generate one-time login request message. The key used in our scheme has two strong building blocks. That is, it is biometrically based on the extraction of features from the entity's iris, and cryptographically based on the strong key-based message authentication code MAC SHA-5112 and a revised cipher 4. The proposed scheme exhibits several important security attributes such as key agreement, bio key management, a single authentication request for each user logins, mutual authentication, invulnerability and efficiency. Our data flow diagram for our process. First we start from the cloud process. In the cloud process there are two types of process we can carry out. First is upload process and another one is download process. In this process, before the cloud process starting, we make a further certain login registration for the certain users in it. For example, if I make to connect with the cloud, means we want to log in with the certain users with giving a certain details for a proper registration. If the registration is a valid, means here the code can be generated using the certain one-time password. The certain login can be carried out in it. After that, the cloud can be connected with that with a certain login by verification in data. After that, the two process can be carried out. First is upload and download process, and another one is data transmission. The data transmission process, we can share data using the cloud server as a base for it from one user to multiple users to share the file from one user to another user. In this process, we shown a certain single process of upload and download process to make a further implementation. In this process, we make authentication using a biometric devices called fingerprint authentication. First, connected with the cloud server, the fingerprint authentication can be carried out. If we choose a file, the certain file key can be generated using a fingerprint authentication by keeping the user as a user fingerprint and using get from the biometric devices. Using the fingerprint images, the key can be generated. The certain key can be used for the secure the data from unauthorized access and intruder from the cloud servers. And the certain cloud space can be generated, and the certain key can be generated. That key can be used to encrypt the data from making if the fingerprint authentication is break by intruder, the certain key can be used to secure the data using, and the data can be stored in data. After in the download process, the certain files can be reviewed by certain users in it. After that, the related files can be viewed in it, and the certain key can be provided to decrypt it. After that, the key can be valid by using the certain fingerprint devices. Place can be chosen to download from the cloud server by the certain users. And the final graphic mentioned that the authentication and the security process in it. Let's start our demo for a project towards an efficient authentication scheme with biometric key management in cloud environment. In this process, first right click on home.java and click on run file. This process is going to carry out, and it mentioned that it connected with the SQL servers, and the RAM can be used as a SQL server to connect the database and store the data from it can be mainly act as a database server. This is our home page. Click anywhere on the home page. This is our login page. If you are a new user, click on new user and make a certain registration. This ID mentions that the certain ID to be make and secure login in Neta. The email should be correctly. The email can be also verified in Neta. Registration can be completed and the certain user and the password can be given to make a certain login in Neta. Login can be carried out in this process. I said that before that upload and the download process can be, and after that the file sharing can be carried out. In this process we mentioned that the upload and the download process. Click on upload process and choose the file, any file. It can be text file or some other files. I'm choosing a text file, and after that the secret key can be generated. In this process the biometric device can be used to generate a secret key. I am using a Cogent biometric device to make a Neta, and after that the process can be carried out. The fingerprint can be analyzed. This is the fingerprint can be captured and it can be saved in a certain place. The previous authentication image can be. I am saving my file. The file can be saved out. This is the file can be viewed, and the key can be generated for certain fingerprint image. The key can be generated. After that the key can be assigned to the file after the request to the cloud server, and right click on cloud server.java and click on run file, and the request can be received from it. This shows that the communication between the cloud server and the user, and a certain encryption can be carried out in it, and the file can be stored in the cloud. The cloud can be assigned and the file can be stored. This is the file can be stored in the details I have mentioned. This is the username of the file, size of the file stored in it. In the same login the download process can be carried out. This is the file I have uploaded, and the key can be, the generated key can be inserted in it, and it can be waiting for a response, and click on it and right click on client server. It mentioned that the local server can be based in it, and the request can be received and the request can be further processed to the cloud server, and it accept the request from the server and send to the client to make the further file download. File can be sent and it can be decrypted in it, and it does give the access to download the file in it, and the file can be downloaded and it can be saved in the certain location, file location with the certain names, and the file can be downloaded. Thanks for listening.